Nathan here. Today I will be talking about our 20-gallon Paludarium. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fish. We keep our fish in mint condition. There is gold cloud minnows in there, white cloud minnows, and especially one channel darter. We started out with an old tank my dad used to have, and it was all dusty and had red sand all over it. So what we did with it was...
Well, this tank started as a reptile tank first,
Yeah.
which was the reason why we could not fill it all the way up with water. So knowing that, we had to come up with another way to set this tank up in a unique style. And that's basically how the Paludarium came up, right,
Yeah.
Nate?
And then we just thought of it. We should make a Paludarium with fish. But the second thing was we had to figure out how we were going to make it. So what we did was we got this kind of whatever this stuff is, whatever.
So we used Aquarium pond safe foam, and we made our land formations, of which now you basically can barely see the formations anymore because they're completely covered in plants. Yep. So we have terrestrial mosses that Nate and I collected on hikes in the Pine Barrens. Java moss. What else? What other kind of plants did we use?
Java moss. This house plant,
which is called a ficus. Ficus, absolutely.
And the ficus plant does very, very, very good in this tank. We also have pothos. Pothos is if you switch to the 10-gallon, you could see that there's a giant pothos growing out of the tank into the other 10-gallon.
Yeah, it's literally spreading across, exactly.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And we actually got that almost with the pothos in the 20.
Yeah, so this tank is a temperate tank. We keep the temperature at this tank at what's the temperature in this tank, Nate?
69.1 to 72 degrees.
It never really...
71.
70 is pretty much the highest it gets. So it fluctuates between 68 and 70 degrees.
It desires on our heat temperature. So whatever the temperature is in our house is the temperature in a 20-gallon.
Well, we keep this aquarium in our basement. Our basement typically is between 68 and 70 degrees, so that's what the water temperature reflects. Now in this tank we have a group of white cloud and gold cloud minnows, of which they have reproduced quite a few fry. Now we have fry in different tanks that we have that we're growing out. So far I have no gold cloud fry. I haven't had him actually reproduce.
But we do have one pregnant little one.
Yeah, so it's possible that that female right there, chunky female right there on the bottom, hopefully she'll produce some viable fry for us in this system. This tank is super low maintenance. Probably my favorite aquarium of all the tanks we have.
Doesn't really put power in it, so
it doesn't really require a whole lot of work.
It only has 2 filters in there, and there's a few other plants in there.
As you can see, we have
Venus flytraps.
Cool Venus flytrap that we just recently planted.
And they're doing really good.
So far, they're doing good. We're feeding them micro worms, of which
and they're going crazy.
Yeah, they seem to be loving those. The mosses seem to be growing really well. Plants grow well in this tank. I can't explain it. The lighting's not super intense. The mosses seem to really enjoy the cool water. Occasionally use some Seachem Flourish. I'm sorry, Seachem Excel. I stopped using the Flourish.
Yeah.
The Excel has proven to be the better product since this tank does not have CO2 on it at all. So I have tanks that run CO2, but this is completely CO2 free. Extremely low maintenance. Sand base is basically playbox sand. pH runs between 7.0 to 7.2. There's no super fluctuation, but last time I tested it was about 7.2. I put some driftwood in there to help with some tannin, of which this tank is probably the clearest tank we have of all the tanks we have. This is the product that we currently use on this 20-gallon tank, which is the Flourish Excel, which is great product. You
can find this at some of your fish stores like Shark Aquarium, or PetSmart, which is kind of hard to find there because they don't really sell these.
No, they very rarely have the products that we need for these type of tanks. But I will tell you this much: as far as maintenance is concerned, we do probably 2.5 gallon water change on this tank, maybe once or twice a month.
That's how healthy it is.
The plants really absorb a lot of nutrients out of this tank. The terrestrial plants have done a fantastic job of exporting nutrients. The aquatic plants have done the same. You could submerge these roots in these plants. I tell you, if you look inside, we'll get a little closer. Look at the root base. Some of these plants are coming through. Now to some that may be slightly it might be a little unsightly. For the most part, it's just the growth. I mean, it's the major part of the filtration of this tank. Without the terrestrial plants and the aquatic plants, Paludarium just wouldn't work. The water level in this is basically half. The fish in here seem to be flourishing beyond belief. Their colors are super vibrant. White clouds do really well in temperatures below 75 degrees. And they really do prefer 70, you know, sometimes a little bit lower than that, but not for long periods of time. And that's pretty much it. Lighting is one 15 watt 65K bulb, and I do have a little LED strip right here that is on a different timer. So both lights pretty much are on together for about 10 hours a day, but we stagger them. This light comes on first, and then the main light comes on second. Go ahead, Nick.
So before we only used this light until we found out that it kind of doesn't really bring light to any of the plants, and we found out that some of our plants were dying because of that.
Yeah, they really needed the pendant light to help out.
Yeah, so what we did was we do this with all our tanks. We just got this big base and then get a normal heatless bulb, and then
we use CFL bulbs a lot. So all our tanks have 6500K CFL bulbs. I'm a big fan of them. They're inexpensive at Home Depot. They seem to last forever. They put a beautiful color tone out. The plants really do respond from them.
And I want to tell you guys something which is really funny. How we started out with this tank is that the sand on the ground is play box sand. We got that from Toys R Us, play box sand. So if you guys don't believe me, just close up, it looks like play box sand that you could actually play with. And
no, I think most people understand that play box sand can be used in aquariums, Nate. They know that. They know that. It's not hard to believe. So that's pretty much it, guys. This tank is one of
my favorite tanks.
Yeah, probably it is my favorite tank. I have a riparium. I'll show you that aquarium in another video. That tank is really awesome.
Thank you guys.
But this tank, no matter what we do, always seems to be my fallback tank. This is the tank I want to show people the most. This was our first setup, our first tank together,
and
right?
Our best setup.
Yep, and pretty much our best. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy.
Wait, you guys, you know me. I want you guys to subscribe to my channel too. So my channel is Nadium Gaming, and make sure you subscribe to that. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.